Hey guys, very good morning to every one of you. So yep, that's where we are, and today is the day two of what we say. Let's upgrade. Let's upgrade's free coding school. So yep, let me just turn on my screen, and I hope that you guys are able to see my screen right now. And yes, let's make some very big noise that you all are here. So how are you all? I just want to know that how are you all? I mean, like you all are based out of some or other COVID-19 hit based thing. So yep, maybe like what we say that can cause up a problem. Yep. Yep. I hope that you all are like now fine and the music is gone out and you can I mean the music is gone. So yep. Music is gone. Don't worry. It's not for beginners to learn directly from assignments. Okay. Few people are having problem with assignments and all. I actually know about it. So don't worry. So yep, we have assignments already done and are being like posted into my GitHub account. So you can just go and check my GitHub account and get a small glimpse out of it. So yep, we can just go and see where my GitHub account is. GitHub.sai-sundarkar. So there it is, and you will be able to find this first repository where not only the existing assignments, all other assignments will also be updated. So you can just go and find in here. So it is there already here. So you can have to go and like check it. And yes, I will be like I don't want to delay further more with yesterday's assignment and all. I would like you all guys to jump in directly into your today's agenda and all. So that's why what we will be doing is I'll be posting up a dedicated video on YouTube after for your assignment questions. So you just have to subscribe to YouTube channel. So you will get a notification as soon as that video is live. Before this, like what we say, before this, YouTube live ends, your that video will be up because we want today's 2 hours dedicated time for Dr. English like full assignments and all, so like full practicals today to be done. So these all things are there. Keeping this all in our mind, let us what we say go ahead and let us start with the session. So before that, what are the two Kahoot players winner of like day one? It is not day two, it is day one. So the day one Kahoot winner are these two people, right? So the you both guys just go and what we say mail us on mail us on like sai@itm.edu and amrish@itm.edu for redeeming your gifts. Okay, so that's what you guys need to do. Just go and mail us. And yes, now you may be asking that what we say ki, now, who is these people? I mean, are they in the live right now? So, are you both there in live right now? If you guys are there in live right now, just please do mention us. So, we will congratulate you in there. So, hi, Sucharita. So, hey, Sucharita, most, I mean, uh, so now you may be saying that, hey, I scored high and all. We actually get people based out of what we say. We get people based out of random winner who had completed all the 100%. So these two are the randoms winner out of that. And yep, that's all. So one guy is asking like Beast Mode Pro is asking, how's the Josh? So I hope that Josh is always high for me to teach you all guys. So that is very much sure about me, and I am thinking that there is a sure about you all guys too. And let's please reply me one thing here. I want to close sending these emails. Sending email is the tedious job which we actually guys do. Sending emails to all the 5,000 people right now is like the most tedious job. I want to kill that. So for that, can you guys join community.letsupgrade.in? Can you guys join that community.letsupgrade.in? Because it's up and running today, and you guys will be able to what we say see there our YouTube live things, all the links. I don't want you all guys to be like getting emails, waiting for the emails for the YouTube live links. So one is this: subscribe to community.letsupgrade.in. At the same time, you can also what we say subscribe into our like YouTube channel right away. so you will not miss any notifications, and we are going to do YouTube live every day at 11 a.m. for this Python classes. So that's what we want you all guys to be doing in. So just please go and subscribe to community.letsupgrade.in for asking your all the questions and queries. Second is subscribe to YouTube channel so that you can actually what we say ask we can see you can never miss any kind of video from us. Okay, so now yep, let us go and see like what is in there for. Hey, just go and mark your attendance. So instead of this, it's the Google form in your link. So don't go to community and post your thing, just go to Google form and post your particular attendance today. Use your specified email ID, although it may be showing day 1 is written on the heading and all, so ignore that. That is going to capture your day 2 attendance also, right Viral? Yep, drop down है उसमें, right? Drop down है उसमें. So yes, drop down is there. There you can just go and see that my assignment could not be submitted as due to network issue. Just do submit it. Like, I mean, you're in a live classroom, you need to submit it any which ways. So just go and upload it into your drive and submit the link to us. Do whatever thing it is, just do it. And it was the first assignment, that's why we will be giving you what we say a full extension till today day end. But afterwards we want you guys to be like uploading your assignments on day-to-day basis. We will not entertain anyone who is not submitting their assignments on day-to-day basis. That's the only way you guys practice. If you practice, you will be rowdies in Python. Okay, you want to be a rowdy in Python, you just decide it, and I want every one of you to be a rowdy and damn good rowdy in Python. So for that, please just go upload your assignments on time to time basis, and yes, just go and what we say post your attendance on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever it is possible. Just go post it and tag us there. Even showcase the whole world that you guys are like learning in the like Python from Let's Upgrade. So that's what it is. And I will be like coming back again when the Dr. Ingle sir completes his session by 12:50. So I will be meeting you all guys at that point of time. So just now I would like to hand over the whole session to Dr. Ingle sir. So Viral, like sir is there? Yep. So yes, any other questions you may be having, please please correct attendance link. So attendance link is the same. So you just can go and see the particular what we say YouTube live link, and you will be able to get that for attendance. Is there any drop down there, Viral? Yep. So for attendance, you just have to go and check that. It will just open up a like Google form where you have to go and it's showing day 1. Although it is showing day 1, it is not day 1 attendance. It is capturing your day 2 attendance. Just go and capture it. I mean, in the meantime, just please have a look at the chat. What we say, पर link change नहीं हुआ YouTube में. So yes, that's the thing. So I mean, you just actually go and update your attendance here in the form, just in the YouTube description. What it is, just register with the what we say your link and do it. So yep, that's it, guys. Can I just move on? I mean, let us give it to like Dr. Ingle sir. Yep. So let us give it to Dr. hand it over to Dr. Ingle sir, and I'll just come back again as soon as the session ends for the Kahoot and all of the stuff. So I'll be there back again. So yep, and the attendance link will be given to you guys in the what we say Google like in the YouTube live itself, YouTube chat itself. So Viral is working on that. In the meantime, you can just go and post the attendance there in the current YouTube description, which is there in the YouTube description right now. Okay, can you guys, can you please share the LinkedIn ID? Yes, we can share you the LinkedIn ID. Please tell the GitHub name ID. That's like Sai-Sondarkar. You can just find it on like put Sai Kiran Sondarkar on like Google. You will be able to find that thing. In the meanwhile, we are also getting what we say your organizational account for Let's Upgrade for giving you all guys also access in GitHub. And I think Viral had posted that Google form for today's attendance. Just go and post your attendance there. Okay, it will be changed in the YouTube description also. Just go and post your attendance there. Now let us switch back to Ingle sir and Dr. Ingle sir, and he will be the trainer from today. So yep, guys, that's it. Thank you, and just give us 1 minute when we are switching up from this screen to that.
दिख रहा है मैं So if I start speaking, am I audible to everyone? Viral? Yes, guys, am I audible to you all? Yes, guys, am I audible to you all? Yes, guys. Hello. Okay, thank you. Bye. Okay, so good morning, guys. How are you all today? Okay, so good morning, guys. How are you all today? So first and foremost thing, let me thank first of all our Sai sir for having a wonderful session for yesterday, as well as giving you a very good glance of what is Python. Now, before I start with the session, let me be very honest that Sai, I am really helpful and thankful to you that you have actually made my work a bit simpler because आपने already basics यहाँ पे इनको explain कर दिया है. So today when I start with the session, I can actually jump on with some higher level of what you have already covered. So having that in mind, once again, thank you, Sai sir. I take the control from here. So guys, let's get started with the session. So let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Darshan Ingle, and as you all know, I'll be taking your Python. And the contents that will be covered by me can be seen on the screen right now. So we are going to rightly start from the basics of Python. Of course, साई ने यहाँ पे काफी हद तक हेल्प कर दिया है. So the basics of Python we can have a quick glimpse of it. Just a second, guys. Hello. Ha- Okay. हाँ. माइक का स्लाइडर फुल है शायद वो. कहाँ तक करे? ओके. 35. एम आई ऑडिबल नाउ? और कम करे? ठीक है. ओके. अभी? ओके. नाउ? एम आई ऑडिबल नाउ? हेलो. हाय गाइस. 50%. अभी यहाँ पे ये कितना है? हाँ, शायद 50 है ये. ओके. सो शुड आई स्टार्ट? अभी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है? ओके. ओके, फाइन. चलो, बाय विरल. Okay, guys. So, am I audible to all of you? First of all, let me know in the comments. Am I audible to you? Now the voice should not crank. We have modulated the voice, so hopefully the audio should be available now. Low sound. That should not be an issue now. Hello, guys. Am I audible to all of you? Okay, let me use my earphone. Maybe that may help out. Am I audible to you right now, guys? Is my voice clear to you now? Is my voice clear to you now? So, since the voice is cracking, let me use my earphones also. Let me try the same thing. Okay, now I think the voice might have clarified. Yes? Yes. Good morning, guys. Are you able to hear me now? So, I do not want any disturbance once I start the session. Therefore, it is very much important to get the things clarified at the start. So, am I audible to all of you? Yes. Great, great, great. So, the problem was only because of the mic. Good. Yes. So, let's get started with the session, guys. Now, as you all know, these all are the things that we are going to cover. First, we are going to start with the basics of Python.
Then the data types, functions, string, list, tuples, dictionaries, the random module, sets and arrays in Python, followed by file handling, dictionaries, exception handling, classes, objects, and our concept of decorators and generators. So, without wasting any time, let me get started. So, since you all are acquainted with the basics of the Python, how are we going to go about it? So, yesterday, Sai sir, just a second. So, okay. So yesterday Sai sir might have introduced to you what is Python and what are the basics of Python. So I was also there on the session live listening to Sai sir, and there were some small queries popping up over there कि can we use the basic IDE और Jupyter is compulsory कि PyCharm ही use करना है कि Spider use कर सकते हैं. Now honestly speaking guys, since we are studying the basics of Python, आप अगर basic IDE of Python use करते हो तो भी चलेगा. बाई दैट आई मीन टू से दैट अगर आपके पास पाइथन इंस्टॉल्ड है तो आप सिंपली यहाँ पे विंडोज़ में जाके इफ़ यू ओपन दिस पाइथन 3.7 IDLE, this thing is also going to suffice for us. So once I open this is my Python opened over here. From where have I downloaded this Python kernel? I simply opened Google Chrome. Let me close this default tabs. Once I opened the Google Chrome, I went to the website python.org, and inside this python.org you can see there is a section called as downloads. So if you are having a Windows OS, you can download Windows Python. If you are having Mac OS, you can download it for Mac. So by default it always comes for Windows, and you can see the latest version available for download is 3.8 over here. So you can use this particular version for download, or the one which I have is my Python 3.7 as you can see. सो सिंस आप लोग आज इंस्टॉल करने वाले हो, आप लेटेस्ट वाला वर्जन इंस्टॉल कर सकते हो, और अगर नहीं किया है तो यू कैन इंस्टॉल इट आफ्टर द लेक्चर. So let us get started guys. So before moving on to the Jupyter notebook, I will like to emphasize the use of a basic interpreter. See, Python is basically a programming language. आप उसको कोई भी environment में run करो, there is absolutely going to be no problem. So जो चीज़ें हमारे Jupyter में चलने वाली है for our course, same thing is going to work over here also. So even if here I type a basic program, maybe for checking the addition of two numbers, I'll be able to see the answer. If I say what is 2 multiplied by 8, that also answer is available over here. अगर मैं कोई बेसिक एडिशन का प्रोग्राम लेता हूँ, जैसे कि कल साई सर ने बताया था, तो मैं a इज इक्वल टू 1 करूँगा, b इज इक्वल टू 2 करता हूँ, एंड आई से c इज इक्वल टू a प्लस b. Now the moment I type C, we all know that C will be storing the addition of the contents inside A and B. So जैसे C पे मैं enter दबाता हूँ, we should get the answer expected as 3. So you can see over here. So C के अंदर का वैल्यू प्रिंट करने के लिए I have to simply type a variable name C over here. Alternatively, I can also use the print function as yesterday taught by Sai sir over here for printing the things. तो यहाँ पे अगर मैं C की जगह print C करूँ तो भी सेम चीज़ आने वाला है. Now what you are seeing right now over here in front of you, जहाँ पे ये लिखा है Python 3.7 tags dot 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 blah blah blah, this is called as the interpreted mode of the Python. This is called as the interpreted mode, or it is also called as the interactive mode. What I mean by that? इंटरप्रेटेड मोड या इंटरएक्टिव मोड का मतलब ये होता है कि यहाँ पे आप कोई भी प्रोग्राम लिखोगे तो वो लाइन बाय लाइन ही कंपाइल होने वाला है. सो लेट मी एक्सप्लेन यू व्हाट आई मीन बाय दैट. फॉर दैट आई विल शो यू द सेकेंड टाइप ऑफ मोड विच इज अवेलेबल. आई एम गोइंग ओवर हियर इन माई फाइल. मैं फाइल के अंदर जाके, हेलो, हाँ, okay, okay, is it water fine? Okay, so over here what I mean to say by that is a is equal to 1 is done, b is equal to 2 is done, and when I say c is equal to a plus b, C will be storing the answer of A and B's addition. Once we are done with that, by simply typing C, we can see that the value of C is being printed, and the same thing can equally be achieved by having a print function over here. So now let me show you the next mode. As I told you, this mode which we have studied just now is called as an interpreted mode or an interactive mode. That is, the moment you type something, you are going to get the output. Now the next mode is called as a script mode. Let me write it over here in the comment. So the next mode that I'm going to show you right now is going to be called as the script mode in Python. What is the script mode? I go to file, I create a new file. Now you can see a new file has been opened over here. Let me write down the same code. I say a is equal to 1, and guys, when I press over here enter, nothing is getting executed. This is as good as a notepad file which is open in front of me, or you can also compare it to a Jupyter cell that comes in front of us. So I say b is equal to 2, and now I say c will be equal to a plus b, and I use a print function over here for printing the value of c. First and foremost thing, we will have to save it because the default name over here is untitled. I go to file, I go to save or save as, anything is going to do for the first instant. And let's say since I want to delete it some moment later, so the name of the file be let's upgrade, and I press an enter over here. Before I press an enter, you see over here by default the save as type is coming to .py as well as .ipyb. Now by default it will be saved in .py extension, and you can see over here the name of the file is LetsUpgrade.py. Now we have saved the file. Now let us run this file, because we know that the answer has to be 3 and the answer is yet not printed. We have typed the program, we have saved the program. Now we are going to run the program. So I go to this run prompt and click on the run module, and I can see I have come back to my interpreted mode, where I can see the shell has been restarted at this particular location. Now why is the shell restarted at this particular location? The reason is we had our program stored on our desktop. So on the desktop we had a file called as letsupgrade.py, that is the extension of the file which we used, and that got executed and we got the output as 3. Now I can think of writing just C over here, and let me save this. So as we saw in the interpreted mode, by just writing C we get the output. Here also if we do try the same thing, and I go to run and click over here on the run module, you can see over here that we are not getting any answer. The reason is, if you are writing anything in the script mode, the use of print function becomes mandatory. So I am writing over here print C, and then only I can see the output. So once I execute, I'll be able to see it. Now the advantage of this script mode is I can have a couple of lines written at the same moment and getting it interpreted at the same time. So I can also have print A with me. I can also have a print B with me. Now I save this particular thing simply by pressing Ctrl S. So saving is very important. I will not be going to this tab and explicitly doing every time save. Instead I'll be using the keyboard shortcut Ctrl S for saving the program, and for running it I'll be using the run module, that is F5 key. So once I say I am ready with the program and I'm going to run it, I am pressing my F5 key again, and once I press this F5 key, we know that the outputs for A, B and C should be displayed. So you can see over here 1, 2 and 3 got displayed over here. So how is the script mode different from the interactive mode? So the problem with the interactive mode is that the moment you type one particular line and you press enter, that line gets executed. So over here if I write A is equal to 1 and press enter, the line gets executed. When I say B is equal to 2, the line gets executed. When I say C is equal to A plus B, this line also gets executed. And now when I type over here print A and I press enter, it will immediately throw me the output. Now in the script mode, you can see that I have written the entire code in a single stretch, and thereafter we have thought of printing the entire things. So just a second guys, let me increase the volume. Okay. So over here we have printed this entire thing, whereas in this particular case, in my interactive mode, the moment I type print A, I get the output. The moment I type print B and I press enter, I get the output for B, and once I type C, I get the output for C. So how is it different, or which mode is advantageous? Now guys, script mode is to be used when you are writing actually a very big program, whereas my interactive mode or interpreted mode is to be used when you want to test a part of a program. So by that I actually want to say you that, let's say if your program consists of maybe total 1 lakh lines of code. So if your program is going to consist of total 1 lakh line of code, in that particular case, let's say I am somewhere on the 500 line, I am still able to complete, I am still in the process of completing my program, and after this there is a part of the code which I want to check whether it is going to work fine or not. What I do over here, I simply switch to my interactive mode. I check whether this particular small part of the code works fine over here or not, and if the things are working fine, I copy paste this particular code and paste it into my Python script, and now this 500 lines will be further appended by the new executed code. So with the help of this, I can achieve something called as a incremental development. So your code is being developed step by step, and because of this you will not be able to see unnecessary errors. So what was the problem with this particular thing? If I write the entire 1 lakh lines of code over here and compile it at a single stretch, chances are quite high that I may result in a lot of errors. So it's better that I develop the code in small stages and keep on appending the code to my original code. That actually eases my work and facilitates a very important concept of modular programming, where I am working with small modules and appending those modules into my main file. So let me switch back to the cursor mode. So as you can see, this type of mode is called as my script mode, and the one which we saw over here is called as interactive mode. Now everything that you are going to do over here, the same thing can be done in the Jupyter notebook also, as suggested by Sai. And you all should be more familiar with using of Jupyter notebook rather than Shell, because as far as my knowledge and understanding goes, you all are here to become data scientists. So for a data scientist, you should be very much familiar with the notebook environments, and the most popular of which is our Jupyter notebook and the Google Colabs. So let's switch back to that particular mode now. So this is done. Now if I want to open the Jupyter notebook, yesterday Sai sir have already taught you, so let me open it directly now. So guys, I have opened my Jupyter notebook. Yes guys, the comments are perfectly right. Rather than typing, you should listen, because anyways you are going to have a recorded session of this available to you, and you can always use that session and execute the things later. So the things are going to be very delicate over here. If you miss out a single thing, it will be difficult for you to keep a track of where you left off, and you will be disconnected with the subject. Therefore it is always advisable to just have 100% attention on the screen. In between, let's say if you are getting time, at that time you do try, but do not try to execute each and every line which I am going to execute over here. Your concept or idea as of now should be understanding the code. So with that in mind guys, you can see over here my Jupyter notebook is open. Now where has this Jupyter notebook been actually opened? We don't know, right? If you observe over here, my Jupyter notebook is open, but where do I find this folders? Downloads, documents, desktop, and it's very difficult to find out. Also there are some files like merging, joining, concatenating. So the default address where the Jupyter notebook opens is unknown to us. What are we going to do? I'll be trying to find out where has this Jupyter notebook been opened, not like a novice person but like an expert. So I'm going to click over here on new and click Python 3. Let it create a new notebook for us, and to check whether this thing exists, that is where the notebook has been opened, I'm going to fire a simple command called as import OS. Now basically by this I mean that I want to import a module called as OS. Oh, I know many of you might be commenting over there, what is OS, what is import. OS is a module which we are explicitly going to study when we are going to do the further part of Python. As of now, you can just consider this statement as a magic statement, which is something which is basically going to import a module for us, and with the help of which I am going to find out where is my Jupyter notebook actually opened. And OS module has a function which is called as get current working directory, called as get CWD, right? So these two lines are the magic lines for us as of now. We do not understand the ABC of this particular line, but understand this thing that if we type this, we will come to know where our Anaconda has opened the Jupyter notebook by default. So let me execute this. Now for executing this, I will see that this has been opened. That is, my current working directory for this Jupyter is C users Lenovo. Let us verify it. I will like to open C drive from my computer. So I go to my this PC. Thereafter I have to go to users and Lenovo. So inside C drive I open users, I go to Lenovo, and I see that this thing which we saw, 3D objects, Anaconda 3, desktop, documents, download, and the same things were available here also. 3D objects, Anaconda 3, documents, desktop. Similarly, we can also go further down. Oh yes, you can also see some of the IPYNB files, merging, joining, case study 1, darshan.ipynb dot present over here, and the same thing is present over here also. So at least we got to know from here that by default Jupyter notebook has opened at this particular URL, C users Lenovo. But guys, what is the drawback of this particular thing? The first drawback of this thing is, if I want to ever create a notebook, every notebook which I create will be by default created at this particular address, and I don't like that. I don't want the entire thing to be stored in one particular address. So how am I going to go about it? Yes, there is a catch for it. So I am going to simply close this. I will also close this Jupyter notebook. But before that, before closing this Jupyter notebook, there is one more thing which I will like to tell you. This Jupyter notebook is opened at this particular address. So what will happen if I close this particular thing? So I close this particular thing, and I also close this browser. So my browser has been totally closed, and we can see that we have nothing over here. So now let's say if I want to access the Jupyter notebook once again, we have lost the connection with the Jupyter notebook. That's what we think, but that's not the case. Jupyter notebook did not establish a connection with my browser. Instead, Jupyter notebook's connection was established with this particular terminal or kernel open over here. So you could have seen when we opened Jupyter notebook, these all files ran, and finally the Jupyter notebook got opened. And also you can have a look at this particular thing. You need not read everything. It simply says to access the notebook, you can open this file in the browser. You can either do this, or simply you can copy paste any of these URLs. So let me copy paste one of these URL. So I am taking the first URL. I cannot simply right click and copy or control C. I have to go to the top of the tab, right click over here, go to edit. I have to select the copy option. Now I can open my browser. I don't want all of this, so let me close this. Now when I open my browser, I have to simply go to this URL, right click and say paste, and press and enter over here. So we see that the Jupyter notebook is still open for us, right? Now, as I told you, we are not interested in this particular thing. So now once I want to close this, we understood that the key to close the Jupyter notebook is to close this particular terminal which is open in front of us. How are we going to close it? One harsh way of closing it is simply by pressing a cross over here, or you can simply type Control Q over here, Control Q, and that also closes the notebook for us. Not Control Q, Control C, I'm sorry, Control C. The moment you press Control C, it is going to close the Jupyter notebook in a systematic fashion. Fine. Now let's go on to understand how to open it in the way we want. So just a second, guys. I'll just put my phone on silent mode. Okay, so guys, now the problem that we had over here is by default the Jupyter notebook is getting opened at a default address, and I have all my data stored over here. Now every time if you're creating a notebook, you will always like the notebook to be opened where you have, instead of copy and pasting the files to that default address. And if you do that, of course a moment will come where that particular folder will be highly populated with a lot of data. So that can be avoided. What I have to do is simply go to the folder where you have your file saved. Now since the stuff which I'll be teaching you is stored in this particular folder, you can see the name of the folder is Let's Upgrade. Now if I want to open the Jupyter notebook from here, what I have to do is I have to open this particular folder, go to the URL over here and simply press the delete key and type over here Jupyter notebook and press an enter. The moment you press an enter, see what happens. Now by this we can see that the Jupyter notebook is opened, and the opening URL for this notebook happens to be that particular folder, because we can see we had these many notebooks plus these two Kahoot files in this folder, and they are there here also. Let us confirm once again. I go to new, I create a Python 3 notebook, and let us write our two magic statements which we just discussed sometime before. I say import OS and os dot get current working directory, and I press Control Enter. Now do observe one more thing. When I am going to execute this particular cell, you have to observe this part, this round circle. As you can see, if this round circle turns out to be hollow, that means the kernel is idle. You can see the pop-up over here. It has clearly said the kernel is idle. See, there is a pop-up, kernel idle. Now when this kernel is busy, this dot which is hollow in nature will be becoming completely black. So I want you to observe this particular dot when I execute this cell, and once I press Control Enter, since there was an error, okay, spelling mistake in import, observe this dot once again. You can see just for a fraction of second it became black. That means the kernel was busy for that particular time instant. Why am I telling you this feature? Because sometimes you may come across that your notebook has got stuck up in between and this particular dot will be totally black over here. Or it may also happen that since some processing is going on and on, because of that, if you are executing further more cells below cells in the notebook, it is going to create a problem for us. So Okay, I have zoomed the screen. Let me close it, but before that we can see, once we press Control Enter over here, we see that e books data science Python let's upgrade is the current working directory. Fine. Similarly, you can also change the current working directory, but that we will study when we study the details of this OS model. As of now, our target was not to study OS model, but just to understand how is the working of this entire thing going on. So let me close this temporary notebook which is of no use to us, and straight away jump on to the basics of Python. Okay, you can see the dot over here, it is black and it just now became hollow. Let me open one more notebook, you can understand. I opened the data types notebook, see this hollow dot, the kernel is busy. You have to wait for it to be ready, and once it is ready you can go ahead. So guys, starting with the basics of the Jupyter notebook, before that I will like to show you some additional things inside the Jupyter notebook. For that, let me create once more that particular file untitled.pnb which we just opened before. Now Jupyter notebook, as yesterday Sai sir said, supports a lot of cells over here. One is called as code cell, markdown cell, raw and b convert, and heading cell. So since this was also explained, I will just like to explain you some things over here in detail. That will help you out, because when you are actually working with data science, this actually is very much required and you should have a good hands-on on this. So we all know that by default, whenever you click plus over here, it is going to create a new cell for us. If you want the type of this cell to be changed, of course you have to go over here and change it. So if I change the type to raw and b convert, this particular cell will be converted into my normal text pad format. By that I mean whatever I type over here, whatever contents, be it numbers, some special characters, numerals, alphabets, operators, anything, and I execute this particular cell, you can see that this thing will remain as it is. So it is more of like a text pad which doesn't support any kind of formatting features. If I want any formatting features to be available to us, for that I will be creating a new cell over here. So we can say I simply create a new cell. I say over here create a markdown cell, and inside the markdown cell if I type maybe my chapter 1, and just observe that I type 2 hyphens over here, you can see this cell has bolded this particular stuff, and you press Control Enter, you can see if you want something to be as the headings, it is going to appear in this particular way. Another way, maybe inside the chapter 1 I have 2 points. My point number 1 may be called as topic 1, my point number 2 called as topic 2, and once I press Control Enter, I do see that these topics are over here. There are some more additional things. If I press a greater than sign over here and also a greater than sign over here, and I press Control Enter, you can see that I get proper indentations over here. Now this is very much required when you are going to study the documentation of the Python. Further, let's say inside topic 1 I have something called as topic 1.1 and I have topic 1.2. So these two things are inside my topic 1. If I want this, and if I press a sign over here, you can see these things are not going inside topic 1. They are simply coming as 1, 2, 3, 4 in a chronological order. If you want this, you can have 2 greater than signs over here and execute this particular cell and see that this part now goes inside topic 1. So that were the basics of markdown. So let's now straight away jump into the basics of Python now. So let me close this notebook for you. Coming on to the Python basics. So guys, now this is something which I will not be explaining it to you once again, because Sai sir has fantastically explained you. So let's go down. As we all know, Python is an interpreter and it supports 2 modes. One is interactive mode and the second is script mode. by default extension is .py, but if it is a Jupyter notebook, the extension will be .ipynb. Over here you can see the extension is .ipynb. So py over here stands for Python, nb stands for notebook, indicating that this is a Python notebook. So what is the reason for this I? Jupyter notebook was initially called as IPython. So earlier name was the earlier name of Jupyter notebook was IPython, and that is the reason we have a I over here. Got it? So this feature has not yet been deprecated, and by default all the Jupyter notebooks are still saved as .ipynb. Going on to the applications, we already know. So you can see with the help of the markdown cells, I can have extra formatting over here. So this was my original cell. When I execute this particular cell, we see extra markdowns available over here, and a lot of formatting can be achieved. Okay. So now the code which we wrote over there for addition, the same code can be equivalently written over here. So let us try to understand this. Let's say if you write over here a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to a plus b, and you simply write c over here and execute this cell. For executing this cell, you have to press Control Enter. Now guys, for executing this cell, as Sai sir said, you can also press Shift Enter, absolutely no problem for this. Shift Enter or Control Enter, both are going to work. So I see the output over here. So this is as good as a script for me now. My cell number 2 has become a script for us. Now let's say I want to print the value of A as well as value of C, and in between let's not skip B also. So if I want to print A, B and C and I press Control Enter over here, it is not going to give us an error, but rather it will be printing only the value of C. The reason is, if in a Jupyter cell there are more than one things to be printed, Jupyter notebook cell will by default consider the last statement as valid. So let's say if we remove C and I say Control Enter over here, it will be printing the value of B. So if I want the three values to be printed, as you all rightly predicted, we have to write print A. Again you have to write print B, and of course you have to also write print C over here and press Control Enter, and you see the output over here. Okay, now the next important thing is to understand in detail the working of this print function. Now for understanding the working of this print function, let me tell you that I don't want the answer to be in this particular format. Rather, let me write out how I want the answer. For that I am commenting. So I want the answer to be written as addition is 3. Okay. So if I want this particular thing to be printed as the output, first and foremost thing, leave this particular comment. Let us study something new now. If I write my print function and if I simply type C and execute this particular cell, I do observe that C doesn't get printed. Instead, the value inside C is getting printed. However, if I put the C inside double quotes and I execute this cell again, I see that whatever is written inside this double quotes gets printed as it is. So let's say instead of C, I write cat and dog, and I just execute this cell, I see that it will be printing as it is. So what I mean to say by that is, the moral of the story is, inside print function, if you are writing anything inside double quotes, it will be printed as it is. Whereas if you are not using double quote, if you are not using double quotes and doing it, it will be printing the value of that variable. But value of the variable will be printed if and only if that variable exists. So we know that variable D does not exist, and if we execute this particular line, it is going to give me an error over here saying that the name D is not defined. Just a second guys. Now once this thing is done, so now we got one thing, that if we want the answer to have addition is to be printed as it is, I will have to write the same contents addition is inside the print function. So I'll be having double quotes, and in between that I'll be typing addition is, and we know that once we execute this line, it is going to print for us addition is. But guys, we want to print addition is followed by the value inside the addition. That is, I want from the contents from here to be here printed as it is, and thereafter I want the value inside the C to be printed over here. Now for a print function, this box is going to be one string and this box is going to be another string. And for concatenating, I repeat, if I want to concatenate two strings inside a print function, unlike other programming languages, we are not going to use a plus, but if it is inside a print function, we are going to use a comma operator. By that I mean that I have to write over here comma C, and I press Control Enter over here. So we see over here addition is C. Very clear to us? So addition is printed as it is. Thereafter comma means we have to concatenate something after is, and what is to be concatenated? I say I want to concatenate C. Had I written over here C in double quotes, I would have concatenated addition is with C. So you can see it would have printed C over here, right? So with this thing in mind, now let us say I don't want the answer to be like this also. I want the answer to be addition of A equal to 1 and B is equal to 2 is C is equal to 3. So if this thing is to be printed, now we have to understand that what thing has to be printed as it is. From here right up to this particular part of the box, I want the contents to be printed as it is. That clearly indicates that this thing will be going inside the double quotes. Followed by over here, I want the value of A to be printed. Then I want a space and B equal to be printed as it is. So whatever I put in the box will be printed as it is. Then I want the value of B to be printed. Then I want space is C equal to space to be printed as it is, followed by the variable C's value. So how are we going to go about it? Let me write the print function over here. So I want the first box over here, addition of A equal to be printed as it is. So I write addition of A equal to space printed as it is. With that, I want to concatenate whatever is inside A, and inside print function for concatenating we do know that we use a comma operator. Now this is valid only inside the print function. Rest everywhere it is by default going to be the plus operator. So I say comma A. With that I want to concatenate and B equal to be printed as it is. Therefore I write comma, in double quotes I write space and B is equal to space, because that is something which I want to be printed as it is, followed by comma B, comma, inside double quotes I want space is C is equal to space to be printed as it is, comma C, and I close my bracket. And now when I press Control Enter, you can see that addition of A equal to 1 and B is equal to 2 is C is equal to 3 is printed as it is. Now you can change the value of A as well as you can change the value of B, and once I press Control Enter over here, I do see that it is automatically replacing the value of A and B and changing the value of C as well. So that is how it works. So are you all clear with the basics of print function? Because this is something which I will not be explaining to you once again now. So if any queries over here, do let me know. So any queries in the print function? Very good. Yes, yes, yes. Some say too slow, some say perfect. So see guys, as a trainer I have to make sure that every one of you understand. So it may happen that you are finding some of the things really slow, and if I happen to go fast, and there you may encounter a topic where I actually went fast and you yourself are unable to keep a track of it. So it is advisable that we go at a moderate speed where each and every one of us will understand. Perfect. So guys, let's go ahead. Now once we are done with this, I do not have a lot of thing to explain to you over here, because this was taught by Sicer yesterday, and let's not waste a lot of time over here. The data types which we have are numbers, string, list, tuple, dictionary. Now numbers can be represented as this, which we did over here: a is equal to 3, b is equal to 5. These are my number objects. Number objects can be integer, long, float, or complex numbers. So this also is something which we have already studied. So maybe let us check. If we have a is equal to 1, Python has a function called as type, which tells me when I am storing 1 inside this particular a, when I am storing this value 1 inside this variable a, what is the data type which is assigned to the variable a by Python. Now Python decides this automatically. So when I execute this particular statement, I see it has assigned integer. If I say the value is 1.165 something, it is going to be float. And what about a complex data type? For a complex data type, the format is number followed by second number followed by the same variable j. I cannot use a I cannot use x, anything. Complex number in Python is in the format a plus bi. A complex number will be in a format a plus bj, not bi, bj. This has to be compulsorily j only. So if I check over here, the type is complex of a. If I write over here, instead of 89j, I write 89 over here and execute it, I do see over here that it is going to give us an error. Similarly, if you replace it by some other variable called as I, this also lands us with an error. And if we have a I over here, that also lands us with an error. So the moral of the story is you have to use j only. So I can also perform addition of the complex numbers. So I can have a is equal to a plus bj, then c is equal to some other number, and I can perform addition of those two numbers also. Similarly, I can also check the type of hello world, which is by default string. I can check the type of 17, which is going to be an integer, type of 3.2, which is going to be an float, which is something which we have already studied. Now it may happen that when we are working with large numbers, you may be tempted to write the number like this. Let's say I am writing 1 lakh over here. So since I am very much used to mathematics, I type 1000000. Now we all know that 1 is equal to 1 lakh, and I say print a. So I will like to know what is going to be the output of this. We all know that Python is going to assign some kind of data type to this variable a, and this is a very big number, and since it is a big number, by mistakenly or maybe perfectly, I have inserted a comma over here because I want to write a number called as 1 lakh. So let me throw a question to you guys over here and tell me over here, what is going to be the value inside a, or is it going to be an error? Without executing, guys, of course, you need not execute the code, visualize it in your mind and tell me what do you think should be the value of a. What should be printed, or it should be a syntax error, or it should work. Yes, so I assume, guys, none of you is executing the code right now. See, what is important is you understand the concept. For executing this, you will of course be having the access of this video again. So over here, what I mean to say by that, you are expecting that it should give an error. Let me execute it for you, and once I execute it, I do see that I am not getting an error. Instead, it is dividing or giving me some kind of a thing which is called as 1 comma 0 comma 0. And to understand this, let me try printing the type of a. Oh my god, it's a tuple. Now by this, Python by default understands that once you give a number like comma separated, it is not going to throw us an error. So first and foremost thing we learned over here is that comma should not be there. And now when you press Ctrl Enter, you can see the data type as integer. However, if you give comma to this particular thing, Python will understand that the user is basically interested in giving three values and is avoiding using these brackets for me. So I will understand that my first number is 1, second number 0 0 will be by default considered as a single 0, and third number is also set of zeros, of which only the 1 0 will be kept. And therefore we see when you have separated by commas, it is giving me the answer as 1 comma 0 comma 0, and the data type is a tuple, and you all have already studied what is a tuple, right? So how is this happening is not important. What I want to say by that is, whenever you are having large integers, do not be tempted to use commas over here. So let's go down. Next important thing, variable names, whatever you give should be meaningful enough. You cannot give any variable any name as you like. A common example of this is you can have a variable name, let's take this only, I don't want a type statement. You can have a variable name equal to a. You can have the variable name as a underscore 1, that is also perfectly fine. So with this, a variable name can be a combination of characters, underscores and numbers, but a variable name cannot have simply a number. So a number cannot be a variable name, and that makes sense also, because when I say 1 equal to 155, you can see the contents are highlighted as red, and that is going to give us an error. Neither I can have a variable name as 1 underscore a. You can see that also gives an error. Moral of the story is, you have to give the variable names, and if the variable names are more than one line, let's say we want to write a variable name as number 1, so you can write the variable name as num underscore 1 is equal to 20, allowed. But you are not allowed to write 1 underscore num equal to 20, that's not allowed. Similarly, what is not allowed is, you cannot write a variable name something like this, more at the rate is equal to 20. This is not a valid variable name. So what I want to say by that is, whatever variable names you use in the programming should be intuitive in nature. By intuitive I mean, if you as a programmer are working for some company and have designed a program of maybe 500 lines and you have left the job now, the new programmer who is going to join the company and read this code for further modifying this particular code should understand the lines of the code. And for him to understand the lines of the code, we have to ensure that the variable names are written in such a format that anyone who comes after that will understand that, okay, num underscore 1 means definitely he is talking of the first number which is assigned, right? So with this in mind, let me know quickly, if I have a variable name as at the rate a underscore 123 is equal to 45, will be a valid variable name or an invalid variable name? Quickly guys, tell me in the comments. At the rate a underscore 12345 will be a valid variable name or non-valid variable name? Yes, it is going to be an invalid variable name. You can try over here also, because variable names should consist of only alphabets and numbers. Starting with alphabets, it can end with number, it can have underscore in between, but no at the rate symbol is allowed over here. So if you have something called as at the rate a underscore 123, and if you print this over here, control enter, you see that that is going to give us an error. Okay, so let's go ahead now. Coming on to the strings. Now we already know what are strings. Let us go a level deep into string. Now once I say I am going to have a string initiated over here as hello Python. How is the string basically initiated? Try to understand this. If I say I have str1 is equal to hello Python, Python by default creates a block of memory over here, and this particular block of memory will be having h e l l o followed by a space p y t h o and n, and these numbers will be pointed by the variable which is called as str1, which we have created over here. So str1 will be pointing to this, and these variables will be indexed by Python by default from 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Now I know it very well that I am not telling you something new over here, but what I want to tell you is, over here if we type simply print str1, it is going to print the entire contents in this particular diagram. So that's something which we already studied, and we got hello Python over here. But there is something called as Python slicing operator. So slicing operator simply says, let's say from this hello Python, I want to retrieve a substring of that particular string. That is, from this hello Python, if I'm interested in only retrieving hello out of it, I say this operation will be called as a slicing operator. And whenever I say I'm working with the slicing operation simply says that you have to write whatever you want in square brackets separated by a colon, where you have to give start index to me and you have to give end index to me. That is, you want the slice from this particular point to this particular point. So guys, if I say I have to use this particular thing, so let's say we want to retrieve from this particular diagram hell. So hell over here we can see h is starting at index location 0, and I want the contents right up to this particular index location, that is 3. So let me write that thing for us. So I write over here str square bracket starting from index location 0 and going up to index location 3, and I press Ctrl enter over here. And you do observe over here that there is a mistake in our code. And guys, let me tell you once again, this is not a mistake. In Python, in Java, or in any other programming language, whenever you get a term called as end index, internally Python is always instructed to take it as end index minus 1. So when I say I want the contents from 0 colon 3, by default internally it will go from 0 to 2 only. So if I want this L to be present, this content should be modified as 0 colon 4, and now you can see I get this hello over here. So with this in mind, let's say I don't want the first part of the substring, I just want the in between part of the substring. Maybe I am interested in retrieving the string which is called as pyth. I want this particular slice. So guys, please tell me in the comment what should be the start and the end index for retrieving pyth. Don't be mistaken guys, the concept which I just told you, it is start index to end index minus 1. Okay, I am getting a lot of answers. 6 9 6 10, some have written as 5 9, some have written as 5 10, 6 9 7 10. Okay, so let me brief the right answer for you guys. Now we observe over here that we want to retrieve from P. If I want to retrieve from P, I see that the starting index is 6 and I want the contents to be retrieved till H. When I want to say I want to retrieve till H, that is I want to retrieve till index location 9. But to retrieve till index location 9, my end index should be supplied as 10. So once I write 6 colon 10, it will be internally going from 6 to 9, and I'll be getting from 6 to 9 the contents pyth as the output. So let us check over here. So if I say slicing from 6 colon 9, let us write 10 first, 10, I'll get the output as expected. As some of you told, it can be 6 colon 9, and with this I'll be taking everything from 6 going up to 9, means internally I'll be going only up to 8, that is I am going up to t, and the output will be pyt. And many of them were confused over here. I also saw some of the queries where people have written as 5 colon 10. Now guys, understand one thing, start index will be start index only, nothing will be added or subtracted from the start index. So if I say my start index is 5, by default it will be starting from 5 only. So if you write this particular thing, no wonder you are going to get the same output. But let me tell you very clearly that once I say 5 to 10, it has started printing from index location 5, that is before the output of this a space is also being printed over here which is not visible to us, and that is not what is expected. Okay, so if we want the contents to be retrieved, it is always start index to end index -1. Clear? Chalo. So with that in mind, the next thing that we have over here is called as string indexing. By that, let's say from this particular thing I am interested in retrieving only a single character called as p. Now the single character p is present at index location 6. So in this square bracket I can simply write 6 over here and close this. That is, inside str1 whatever is at index location 6, please throw me as the output. Similarly, if I say inside str1 of 5, what are we going to print over here? At index location 5 we are printing what? Yes, you guessed it rightly. At index location 5 we are interested in printing the space, and therefore the output is not visible to us, but yes, the output is being printed. Fine. Now next important thing that we have over here is, unlike forward slicing, we do have backward slicing and backward indexing in Python also. Let me explain you what. So as Python's forward indexing goes from 0, 1, 2, 3 right up to 11, my backward indexing will always start not from 0 but start from -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. This will be at -6. This will be at -7, -8, -9, -10, -11 and -12. So let me keep a note of it. My forward indexing has got from index location 0 to 11, and my backward indexing has got from index location -1 to -12. Now you all may be definitely tempted to know कि अगर forward indexing is going from 0 to 11, why not my backward indexing is also going from 0 to -11? Yes, so this is for a very common reason. Now guys, let's say the diagram is coded in this particular format where my forward indexing is currently going from 0 to +11 and backward is going from -1 to -12. So if I want to access a character h over here, this is at index location 0. So I will have to write str1 of 0 and that retrieves me a h over here. But if I say that this coding of backward indexing also starts from 0, if that would have been the case, so I am very sure we would have labeled 0 over here, -1 over here, so on and so forth till we get a h. Now if that was the case, and let's say we have tried to execute str1 of 0, the compiler would be confused over here that str of 0 is this h or str of 0 is this n, and that creates a confusion for the compiler. Therefore the compiler is coded in such a way that forward indexing will always go from 0 to the positive range of the number side, and backward indexing will always go from -1 to the negative range of the number side. Therefore there is no clashes in between. So now over here we can see if I say what is going to be str of minus 6, so str of minus 6, as you rightly say, it is going to be p. Similarly, if you say what is str of minus 10, str of minus 10, just simply looking at the diagram, I see that once I go to minus 10, I'll be coming across this L, and that is what we get as the output. So with this in mind, as we have forward indexing and forward slicing, we do have backward indexing and backward slicing also. So this is a very important fundamental, don't miss it out over here. What I mean to say by that, let's say from this particular string which we have, I am interested in retrieving the same content as I gave you in the example pyth, but boss, I want this to be retrieved not using forward indexing but using the backward indexing. So be it forward indexing or backward indexing, my indexing way remains the same. I go from start index and I go to end index minus 1, but I will always write as end index only. So if that is the case, what do you think should be written over here to retrieve the contents pyth using the backward indexing? Comment in your post, guys, fast. I want to retrieve pyth using backward indexing, so I have my start index and end index over here. Okay, so a lot of queries have been popped up. Now let me tell you what are we going to do over here. Now if you observe, I want to retrieve pyth from this particular part. So just a second, guys. Okay, so now over here we want to start by pyth. So you can see over here that I have to start from p. So my start index over here is going to be minus 6, no doubt about it. It has to start from minus 6 only. Then I do observe one more thing, that I have to go up to h. Now as per the rule which I told you in forward indexing, if I have to go up to h, I will have to supply the index which is one location ahead of x. So that will be from minus 6, I will be going to index location minus 2. Now here also, if you observe, the rule is still getting satisfied, guys. If you observe previously, the start index was lower than the end index, and here also the things are the same. The only difference over here is, if you remove this sign, then 6 is greater than 2, but if you observe internally, minus 6 is still lesser than minus 2. So if I say over here minus 6 colon minus 2, that is start from minus 6 and go to minus 2 minus minus 1. So once I do that, I see that I get a string called as pyth. Guys, a very simple fundamental, as I told you, whatever part of string you want to crop, let us say you want to crop out ll0, you will have to go from this particular number minus 10 to this particular index minus 7. So it will always go from start to end minus 1. So it will always be whatever is the end index one location before that, right? So to clear on the concept, do tell me what are we going to do if I just want the output to be printed as hell, but using the backward indexing. Okay, I want the output to be printed as hell using the backward indexing. So you know what is the start index, what is the end index. Let me see, are you able to get it? Now I can see many of them have got the concept. Yes, you are going perfect, guys. You have to start from index location -12 and you have to go till this L, therefore you have to go up to -8. So -12 to -8 is going to give us hell over here. So I write over here -12 colon -8. I press Ctrl Enter and I do get over here, right? Similarly, I can also use backward indexing also, like backward slicing. If I say str1 of -8, it is going to tell me O as the output because -8 is O. Whereas it also works with forward indexing. If I say str1 of 4, that is still O. So let's move ahead, guys. Now following are the keywords in Python. Now what are keywords? Keywords are the words whose meaning is already being told to the compiler. So example, if you observe this print function, now this print function can also be called indirectly as a keyword because it knows whenever you say print, it knows that whatever are the contents supplied inside these two brackets has to be printed out, right? So whatever things whose meaning is known to the compiler is called as keyword. Rather, you would have also seen that instead of typing this, if I say I want to print the type of str1 and once I press Ctrl Enter, how did the compiler know that this is a string? Because internally str is a keyword and compiler has assigned this keyword to this particular variable str1. So that's how my string slicing, string indexing, forward indexing, backward indexing goes. So keywords are the variables which are known to the compiler. Almost all of these keywords will be studied by us in due course of time. As of now, you can just have a glance over it. True, false, none, and as. These are some of the keywords that we are going to come across. So further going down, just read it. As of now, you need not understand each of the keyword. What is important is understanding that yes, these type of keywords do exist in Python. Okay, global, except, for, it, import. Import is a keyword. If you remember, we used it for import OS, right? Further going down, pass, in, not, is, lambda. Now next important thing, guys, a very important concept which comes over here, which is called as the order of operations. Now order of operations is a very important topic for Python. Now we all know the rule of mathematics. If I say which rule is used in mathematics for performing operations of any particular expression. So I have been given an expression maybe like 2 plus 3 minus 1. So every one of you tell that yes sir, if it is order of operations, we know a very famous rule which is called as BODMAS rule, which applies over here. But guys, in programming, BODMAS rule does not purely apply. Instead, the rule which applies in programming is not BODMAS, but the rule is called as PEMDAS. PEMDAS. So I don't remember exactly what is PEMDAS. I can give you at least 30 seconds to find out on Google what is PEMDAS and let me know fast what is the full form of PEMDAS. Like we know, BODMAS means brackets of division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Similarly, if I have something called as PEMDAS, what is the meaning of this bloody rule? Do let me know, guys. I just want to know the full form. Explanation will be of course told by me. There is a query over here. Till then let me resolve it. In real use case, when do we use backward slicing? Backward slicing will not be used in real case. However, there are some eccentric programmers who like to play with the code and they like to use backward slicing. They can use it. Or a practical application of backward slicing could be if a part of a string that we want to retrieve is going to be at the extreme right end of the screen, then we use backward slicing. A very simple example, just imagine my string is not hello Python, but my string is a big essay. Okay, the string is not a single line, it is a set of 50 lines. Inside this 50 line, if I know that a word called as dog exists at the extreme right end, so why will I start searching from index location 0 and go up to the last 3-4 characters? Rather, I will better start from the back end that is from the right side of it using backward slicing. The advantage of that is, of course, my time complexity of this particular line will reduce. Yes, so I am getting a lot of things over here. PEMDAS is an acronym for parenthesis, exponentiation, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Perfect guys, perfect. आप लोग सब गूगल में एक्सपर्ट हो. So with that in mind, let me go ahead and explain you what is PEMDAS over here. We have already know that P over here stands for parenthesis, and parenthesis is nothing but open brackets and close bracket. E over here stands for exponentiation. Exponentiation का मतलब होता है, it purely means that it is raised to. In raised to, in Python, raised to simply means a symbol called a star star. I'll come back to it. Then we have multiplication and division. Then we have addition and subtraction. Let me number it. The first number is P, second is my E, my third is M and D together, they are not separate, and fourth is addition and subtraction. One more thing I will like to highlight over here. For multiplication, there exists something called as associativity. There exists something called as associativity, and that is nothing but left to right. Similarly, for addition and subtraction also there exists a associativity which is called as left to right. Let me explain you what I mean by that. First and foremost thing, if you consider the first example where we say we are interested in finding out what is 2 plus 3 minus 1, if you observe the operation of PEMDAS, we see over here that we have addition and subtraction both in the example. So now what thing is going to be executed first? Over here we see that addition and subtraction are at the same precedence level. Since they are at the same precedence level, it says that you start executing from left to right. Whatever comes first will be executed first. So now initially 2 plus 3 will be executed, that is 5, minus 1 gives me 4, and that will be the answer for this. Now let us say the expression was not this, instead it was 2 minus 3 plus 1. If that was the case, and addition and subtraction being at the same level, we will see that since I go from left to right, I observe that this operation is encountered first, therefore this will be occurring over here, minus 3 plus 2, that is minus 1, and then we have only one operation that gives us an answer called as 0. Now I am very sure many of you might be having a question in their mind, if it is addition and subtraction, you can execute in any order. Yes, of course you are right, but when you are demonstrating or conveying the same thing to a compiler needs a set of distinct rules to execute a particular code. So we have to tell over there that yes, we follow a rule of associativity which goes from left to right in case of addition and subtraction, and this rule makes very much sense when we go for multiplication and division. Let us take an example. If I have something called as 4 divided by 2 multiplied by 6 plus 3. If you consider this example, first and foremost thing, what we see over here is we do not find any parentheses, so we are not bothered about that. We do not find any exponentiation, that is nothing but 2 stars, but we do find multiplication and division both. And what is the order of multiplication and division? Associativity says go from left to right, and when I go from left to right, I do encounter that initially a division operation will be carried out, that will make the answer as 2 multiplied by 6 plus 3. Now among this multiplication and division, multiplication is at precedence number 3, so 6 into 2 12 will happen, and then later on 12 plus 3 15 will be executed. Now understand one more thing over here, this operation really makes a lot of sense. Just imagine if this expression number 3 is calculated in the reverse order. If I say the associativity, which we consider is not left to right, but it is right to left, in that case the first operation to be carried out would have been 6 into 2. So rather what would have happened over here is 4 will be kept as it is, 6 2s are 12 would happen, plus 3. Now my division operation would have been carried out, 4 divided by 12, whatever is the answer comes, 0 point something something plus 3, and the answer would be 3 point dot 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 something like that, and that would have created a problem over here, and that is the reason we have associativity rule with us. Further going ahead, guys, I'm yet to tell you the rule for exponentiation, but let us execute this particular thing as of now. So let me go down, guys, over here. Let me add a cell for you, and in this cell I'm executing my first example, that is 2 plus 3 minus 1, and let us check whether the same thing works in Python. Yes, so I'm getting answer as 4, and here also I'm getting answer as 4 as expected. Instead, if it was 2 minus 3 plus 1, I am getting the answer as 0. Let us check out example of multiplication. 4 divided by 2 star 6. Using the rule of associativity, it is left to right, and we get the answer as 6 to the 12 plus 4. I did not add a 3 over here, sorry. And we get the answer as 50. So I am very sure that this rule 3 and 4 are clear to you. Let us also understand the rule of exponentiation and parenthesis now. Now, what is exponentiation? Guys, just observe over here. You might have said it yesterday also. When I say 2 star star 3, that means I am interested in finding out what is 2 to the power 3. If I want to find out what is 9 to the power 8, I will have to write 9 star star 8. As simple as that. So, considering all these things in mind, let us execute this. 2 star star 3, we get an answer as 8. If I say what is 8 star star 9, whatever is the answer, we will be getting it over here. So come on to this particular part now. Now over here we observe that we have addition followed by exponentiation followed by subtraction. As per the rule of PEMDAS, we know that exponentiation will be executed first. So the simplification is written over here. 1 raised to 5 will be happening over here, that is nothing but 1, and then addition and subtraction, in which initially addition operation will happen, which is 2 minus 2, the answer results in 0, right? Similarly over here also, right? However, guys, there is a catch over here. If I say the question is something like this, so that is the question given to me. So now comes a role over here of parenthesis, because parenthesis is at the utmost topmost position. So if I say I want to evaluate this particular box, initially my 1 plus 1 will be executed, that is going to give us an answer 2 star star 5 minus 2. Further, 2 raised to 5's answer will be executed over here, and from that 2 will be subtracted and the answer will be given to us. So that's how this parenthesis rule is going to work over here. So guys, let us execute both of this and try to understand. So if I have 1 plus 1 star star 5 minus 2, we can see the answer as expected from this calculation which I showed you turns out to be 0. However, if I happen to put a bracket over here, we know that initially 1 plus 1 will be performed because parenthesis is at the highest precedence. Then the answer 2 will be raised to 5, and then 2 will be subtracted from it, and that gives us an answer called as 30. That is 2 raised to 5 turns out to be 32, and 32 minus 2 is going to give me 30. So guys, since you have understood this particular topic, let me throw a question for you now. So we know there is something called as a rule of PEMDAS. With that in mind, the question which comes to me is 4 plus 6 star star 2 minus 3, so not minus 3, minus 1 in bracket plus 5 divided by 1. I want you to calculate the answer for this orally. You are not going to use the compiler over here. You are going to do the answer orally. Or rather, it would be great if you can tell me in the comment section what will be executed first, second, third, fourth and fifth. Because we can see over here there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 operators. So you have to tell me the order of operations over here. 15, 15, 15. Okay, many of you have calculated the answer. I will also like to know the order of answers. Bracket, then Venkatesh says to me bracket followed by division. Venkatesh, you are wrong. Bracket cannot be followed by division because exponentiation operator does exist over there. Please rectify. Nandan Bhatt says parenthesis followed by division. Okay, again that goes wrong. Okay, guys, uh, let me go ahead. Initially, brackets will be executed because parenthesis has the highest precedence. So that is going to give me 2 minus 1. So that will be 6 star star 1 plus 5 divided by 2. Of course, this 4 plus remains as it is. Then among this, exponentiation has the highest precedence, because of which 6 raised to 1 6 will occur, 4 plus will remain as it is, plus 5 divided by 2. Over here division operation will happen first, that is 4 plus 6 plus 5 divided by 2 turns out to be 2.5. Now among this 4 plus 6 will be 10 plus 2.5, so final answer should be hopefully 12.5 if I did not commit any mistake while doing it. So let us check it. 4 plus 6 star star bracket 2 minus 1 bracket plus 5 divided by 1. Control enter. So 4 plus 6 star star 2 minus 1 plus 5 divided, oh, answer came out to be 50. Oh, because I made a mistake over here, I typed 2 instead of 1, so of course it had to be 1. So let me modify the question. Let us keep it as 1. So this will also be 1, this will also be 1. So of course the answer over here is not going to be 2.5 but 5 divided by 1 will be 5, and now 6 plus 4 plus 5 is going to give me 15 and not 12.5. So that's how we do it. I hope you got the order of operations, guys. Any queries over here? Any queries over here, or we can move on to the next topic? Okay, so I hope everyone is following whatever we have covered up to now. Okay, so let's go ahead. Coming down, guys, you cannot perform the following mathematical operations on string. So if I say I want to subtract one string from the another, that is not valid. 1 minus 2 is a valid operation, whereas string 1 minus string 2 is an invalid operation. Whereas if I say what is 1 plus 2, that is simply concatenation, because over here plus means concatenation and concatenation is done outside the print function. So everywhere else plus means concatenation, whereas I cannot have an operation like minus or divide to be performed on a string. So if I say what is string 1 divided by string 2, that is again a type error. However, operation like multiplication also does not work, but one thing does work. If I say what is 3 star some particular string, as we saw yesterday by Sai sir, that works. Okay, so with string only these two operation works. The first is called as concatenation, and the second, which we studied, called as star, is called as repetition. So here we complete with the first module, guys. Now coming on to the assignment questions. Now we have an assignment over here in the description question, wherein we have small questions on the today's topic, where you have to make a Jupyter notebook and submit it on the Google form. The link for which you can find it in the description, guys. So I request you to spend a minute over there and see, are you able to see the link, and get back to me fast. Are you able to see the link in the description for the assignment for today? So yes, the questions over there will be uploaded very soon. I'll be giving the questions over there and it will be uploaded very soon, and you can do it immediately after the session. So you will have to submit that notebook via that particular link. Right now the questions will not be visible. The only thing is that is the link that you will be using for uploading the question. So if you are able to just see the link, that is more than sufficient. The link will be immediately available to you after this lecture. So with this in mind guys, let's go ahead to the next notebook now. So the next notebook is going to be a real quick introduction because this was covered yesterday. So data types, I'm not going to cover it because it was perfectly explained by Sai sir. Boolean data type is there, string which I have just elaborated, list and tuples are also there. Further going ahead, we have a dictionary also, each of which will be studied as an individual chapter. As you can see over here, among these particular notebooks we have individual chapters. We are going to study functions, we are going to study strings, list, tuples, dictionary as individual chapters. So what are we doing right now in notebook number 2? We are just having an introduction to this. The reason for the introduction is, once we are going to jump on to the looping and the if constructs, at that time these things are going to be required. So it is required that you should at least know idea of what is happening over here, and later on we can study each of this like string, list and tuple in more detail. So next is set and files. Coming on to typecasting. So guys, yesterday only we had studied typecasting, so I need not focus over here right now. It is simply converting a data type into another data type. And as far as the tuples are concerned guys, tuples is going to be explained in this notebook just after some time. Have some patience. Now what is typecasting? In short, typecasting simply means to convert one data type to another. Let me give you a very simple example. If I have a small box with me and a bigger box with me, and if I say put this box into this particular box, this operation is perfectly valid. I am not going to have any kind of problem over here. Whereas if I consider the vice versa operation, I have a big box with me and I have a small box with me, and if I say try to insert this box into this particular box, it is not allowed, or rather the operation will happen, but how? I will say I will have to maybe crop down some contents of this box, and only this much portion of the box can be stored into this particular box. So what do we observe over here? We are losing the contents, whereas over here in the first example we are not losing the contents. So let us understand this concept over here in detail. Now when I say I want to convert something into a float data type and let the number be 3, so we know that 3 is an integer value. To convert this integer into a float, I am using the float function over here, and once I press Ctrl Enter, I see that 3 is converted into 3.0. That is, integer data type is a smaller data type. If I convert it into a bigger data type called as float, by default a 0.0 will be appended over here. What is going to happen if I try to convert a float, as you can see over here, into an integer value? Float is a much larger data type as compared to the integer data type. So if I want to store a larger box into a smaller box, we know that I am going to lose on some of the contents of it. And you can see once I execute this cell number 3, the output is no more 3.123, rather the point part of that particular box has been truncated. So typecasting has to be done very clearly. In that we have to be very careful whether we are going to lose the contents and are we fine with that particular approach or not, and accordingly I have to take a call. So these are the constructs which are available for performing the typecasting operation. Let's go ahead. Similarly, if I say what is float of 1.99, you can observe over here 1.99 is already in the float format. So over here the simple operation is like we have a box of this size and I want it to be stored into the box of the same size. So this operation is very much valid and I will not see any change in the output. Input was also 1.99 and output is again 1.99 only. Okay. However, you have to be very careful that everything cannot be converted into every possible format. By that, what I mean is, if you say maybe I want to convert something like int of a particular string, so maybe I have a number like 12.1245. I want to convert this particular thing into an integer. Now this particular thing is a float number, but since it is enclosed in single quotes, this particular thing is not float but rather a string. So once I try to do this particular operation, I'll be getting a value error over here. Why are we getting a value error? Because everything cannot be converted to any other format. We have to apply your brains what are valid conversions and what are not. So a string operation, string cannot be converted into integer, or a string cannot be converted into a float. All of these are invalid operations. So okay, so float conversion is possible, guys. Integer is not possible, it is unable to convert it. Great. So that's how Python is behaving over here. Anyways, let's go ahead. Next, we have integer, float, list, tuple, everything which can be converted to string. Next important thing, as I told you, we had a query for what is the difference between a list and tuple. This will be cleared over here. You can see over here, this particular notebook covers my list, immediately followed by tuple. So have patience over here. We are going to come to this point sooner. Now, first and foremost thing, whenever you talk of string, a string can be converted, a list can be converted to a string. Now what is a list? I need not tell you. List is simply a collection of items which yesterday we had seen. So when I say I want to convert this list to a string, this entire thing right from here to here is now one string. Okay, similarly a string can also be converted to a list, and if we execute this particular thing, we can see that entire string Darshan has been splitted across each and individual value inside the list. Similarly, a tuple can also be converted to a list, and the function is quite simple. Use list function. So a tuple which is indicated by round brackets is stored as a list. Okay, so now before we end the lecture, I will just like to tell you the difference between the list and the tuple. Now first and foremost thing, Python supports two data structures. The first is called as a list data structure, and the second data structure which we have is called as a tuple data structure. The first and foremost difference is list is represented by square brackets, tuple is represented by round brackets. Second important difference over here is my lists are immutable in nature and the tuples are mutable in nature. Now what is the difference? Mutable means the things are fixed, immutable means the things are not fixed. Let me explain you with the help of an example. So let us say I am typing a list over here, maybe of numbers like in square bracket I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and if I say print L and I press Control Enter, we can see the list printed over here. Similarly, guys, observe over here very carefully. What is L of 0? L of 0 is nothing but 1. Fair enough, you understood what is L of 0. Now what am I doing over here? As I told you, lists are immutable in nature. Immutable means the contents of the list can be changed. Change is possible in list, whereas over here change is not possible because the contents are fixed. So let's go ahead. यहाँ पे आके मैं बोलता हूँ whatever is at L of 0, please modify it to a number called as 999, and later on I say I want to print my entire list L and I press Control Enter. I do see that the contents, instead of L of 0, let it be L only. Initially the list was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now it become 999 followed by 2, 3, 4, 5. What is going to happen if I consider the same thing as a tuple? That's what we are learning right now. So we have square brackets replaced by round brackets and rest everything remains the same. As I told you the first point, the only difference is they are collection of items, one represented by square brackets, another represented by round brackets. So now let me not do this. First of all, just print this particular thing. Okay, we see this. Let us also print the type of L to confirm that is it a tuple. Yes. Now let me change it. Okay, now what have we done? I have initiated a tuple, I have printed the tuple, I have tried to modify L of 0 to 999 and reprint the tuple. Observe guys, I am getting the first print line executed and the output is that particular tuple. Thereafter I am getting an error and it clearly says that tuple object does not support item assignment. That is, the contents of the tuple are mutable in nature, that is they are fixed, they cannot be changed. So that is the basic difference between list and tuple guys. Tomorrow in the next lecture we'll understand what are the more differences in between and what data structure has to be used where. So right now we are stopping the streaming, at least from my side, and Sai sir will continue. I will also be posting the assignments in the description. You are requested to do those assignments and submit it as per the procedure given by Let's Upgrade. So see you in the next session guys. Before I stop, are there any queries? Please do let me know right now. Any queries, please do comment in the chat if you have any kind of queries. Yes, you are right. I just misinterpreted the words. List is mutable. Mutable means it can change, and the next is immutable means it cannot be changed. However, the meaning of it remains same. Contents of list can be changed. Contents of tuple cannot be changed. Okay, just forgive me for the words mutable and immutable. But one means it can change. Second means it cannot change. Okay guys, as I told you, each and everything will be studied as a different chapter altogether, so please don't hurry into understanding everything right in the first 10 minutes of it. So with this we are going to stop the lecture for today and I give the control to Sai sir. So see you tomorrow. All the best guys. Bye bye.
Hey guys, hi, how are you all? So I hope that you can see me very well here. So yep. Okay. So what is this particular person saying up that today's assignment, whatever you have learned today from Dr. English, just make it in like notebook and submit it back. Yes, that's what we were thinking. So we will be like we will be like actually updating even more regarding the what we say assignment. But as of right now, mind this is what the assignment is going to be. So yep, whatever you have learned today from Dr. English, sir, like just whether it be like slicing and dicing, just experiment with it few more times and literally like whatever you have learned, just make it there in the notebook and get it. So and one more thing guys, what we can do accordingly is yep. So can you take class from tomorrow? No, boss. I feel that see, Dr. English sir is doing very awesome job. He's explaining you like each and every detail nitty gritty in that, and literally, I mean literally like he's taking up very nicely. I think I can't take this well like how he is doing up the whole sessions. I literally like appreciate his all the efforts that he's putting in down right now to make you guys fully like Python based developers. So thanks a lot, Darshan sir, for your all the effort, Dr. Darshan sir. So yep, and what we say, my laptop was corrupted. What I can do and all. See, boss, these all reasons. Now you have community.letsupgrade.in live. Just go there and log in into that. Maybe like if it all is not taking your logins right now. So what you can do is you can actually just log in it back by 5 p.m. in the evening. It will be sorted by that time, and you guys will be learning a lot of stuff. I'm promising you that thing. Just stick with him. It's not like that, okay, we have only 7 days, we need to complete all the things. No, if your content is not getting covered in like 7 days, we will extend it. But we want every one of you to learn. Okay, we want every one of you to learn. If at all you want to learn, just stick with this, and he's going to absolutely fine. He will make you a Python developer 100%. Okay, make WhatsApp group and all. We have a Telegram group. Okay, so just go and see the Telegram group, and this is what today's assignment is. Like, if at all I have to share you my screen right now. So yep, this is what it is showing up. Today's assignment is whatever you have learned from Dr. Darshan Ingle sir today, like make it in a Jupyter notebook and submit it back to us. So that's what is like going to be your particular today's what we say full to full assignment. Can we have this? What can we have? Can we have this? Okay, what do you want to have? We have one what we say Telegram based particular chat, a particular like channel there. Just go and subscribe it, and we will be like loving to answer you there. Okay, so now yes, today you may be seeing that hey, today's Kahoot is not there and all. Yes, today Kahoot is not there. Today from tomorrow your Kahoot will be again resuming back. So don't worry guys, you will be having your Kahoot from tomorrow. So one more thing is like subscribe to this YouTube channel. We don't want to send you individual emails every time, because emails bounce back to spam and junk, which we don't want what we say to happen up. And yes, you can submit .py file and all, and I can see a lot of messages coming are like Dr. English sir is like very great and teaching. Yes, I know that he's perfect in teaching. So awesome stuff going on. All the 900 people who were there in the chat, like, they were learning it up, they were all like great going. So awesome thing happening up around. So only one thing is, yes, PPT is there. I mean, PPT, we don't have a PPT, and yes, whatever you have learned, you want the content, right? So let us just make one small thing here. Okay, so this is my what we say GitHub. What I will just shoot a individual email to every one of you. Okay, let me just shoot an individual email to every one of you, where we will be having our what we say GitHub profile base. Whatever Dr. English sir is covering up, that will be like hosted on a GitHub, and that will be shared with you all guys over an email. Okay, so that link will be there. Do we have class on Saturday Sunday? Yes, we will be having classes on Saturday Sunday, because what we say, it is all about like you all are like locked down in your homes because of like this whole coronavirus thing going on. So in the meantime, when country is fighting for it, we will be like having classes on Saturday Sunday too. So, and I want you all guys to be attending it. And apart from that, sir, I have doubt with yesterday's assignment and all. Mayank day is like, yes, 100%. What you can do is like what Dr. English sir is like covering up. Just have a look at it. You will be able to cover up all the doubts. So he will be like covering it up one by one. So don't worry, everything will be covered. Wherever you are having doubt, Dr. English sir is there. At the same time, I'm going to upload few more things on my what we say GitHub, which you will get in your emails. So from there you can pick it up. Okay. So yes, you can do your assignments on Google Colab and go Corona go. Yes, that's what we want. Go Corona go. And can you explain the assignment more clearly? So today's assignment is very very clear. Whatever you have learned today from like Dr. English sir, whether it be like slicing dicing concept, or whether it be like what we say how to operate your whole .py like directly Python into your terminal, maybe that, or like you can't submit it back, because just I want you to use Anaconda based Jupyter notebook, and or like Google Colab, or like .py file directly in your IDE, and just run all the things what he has shown you today and submit it back. Today we are not giving you anything which you have to just go and storm your mind, because we want you to have your own freedom today. From tomorrow onwards, like we will be like giving you dedicated questions. This is the question, we need an answer to you. From today it is like more to do with just go see the video back again, and then come back again and like see okay how much you have learned and how much like still is missing. So yep, that's what it is. I hope that you have enjoyed today's whole class. And Telegram link, you will be finding it in the what we say uh, uh, like that is all about what we say Telegram link. You can have it in the description. And yes, one more person is saying that who is she in like PPT? She looks beautiful. Yes, she is our Shreya. She is like our what we say in-house model for the whole classes of Let's Upgrade. So yep, procedure to get certificate. Once you complete all your assignments and submit it back and gets the what we say your like examination link properly, complete your exam, you will be getting certificate via hard copy in like 4 offline cities. If you are not there in Bangalore, if you're not from Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, Mumbai, then we will be couriering you out there. But if at all it is going to be what we say that if at all you are there in these cities, we will be like organizing meetups where you will come across to our place after this COVID-19 and collect your certificate, right? What do we say about Let's Upgrade community? Okay, so if at all you want to know about like what Let's Upgrade community is, this Let's Upgrade community had started in like 2018, okay, in March. I still in February 27th, yes, to be precise. So that day I and like Viral were having a small chat that why don't we develop a community where we can have a lot of learning related to technology based education. We started this community on May 5th in Chennai. Okay, then after starting it there, now we have more than what 20,000 plus people in Chennai itself. And if you see about like across India, like across like 4 cities, we are having more than what right now like 30,000 to 50,000 people. All are scattered away. We are now getting them all together in one platform with community.letsupgrade.in. We do lot of meetups. You come and you learn in our meetups. We do also provide career acceleration certifications. We do provide Let's Upgrade Ninja programs for employing graduates. We do like a lot of stuff, a lot of crazy stuff for making you guys employable and better in your own life with the help of this community where industry leaders are there and working professionals are there and at the same time students are the part of it. So many things are going on there. Jupyter Notebook is not working in your laptop. Don't worry, just go to Google Colab. Okay, so how we get to know our assignment is correct, yes or no? So your assignment is correct, yes or no? We will be uploading like videos on our YouTube channel, which you will be like having, which will be seeing that if your assignment is yes or correct, yes or no. Okay, what about assignment number for today? Today's assignment number is day 2 assignment. That's what you have to select and drop down and submit it there. That's it. So it is NSDC. Yep, that's what we are going to do. NSDC is there involved with us directly because ITM is there and we're getting a certificate from these all things. Telegram is not active. Please assist. No, Viral is there active, and Viral is our handy guy who actually takes care of all the community engagements and his whole team. So he will make sure that it is getting done. So Jupyter is not working in this. I've already answered it, Palani Appan. We are like having giving you certifications from what we say ITM, then Let's Upgrade and NSDC is in collaboration with ITM. That's how we do it. And easy exam or hard, it will be like once you have to give a full examination, pass it out, then only you will be getting these certifications. Does the certification help in resume to get a job? Yes, 100%. This certification has its own value with license number and all. So that's what it will be like helping you across. And that's it, guys. So I hope that you guys have like understood like many of the things. The exam will be more to do with like MCQs and programming based questions and all. So yes, it will be having many more things. You will understand it one by one. Don't rush in today itself. Just join in right now. Okay, just join in right now into the classes every day and understand that. Okay, so okay, Google Form is not. Google Form is working, boss. See, if I just go and click on your assignment, bit.ly.assignment, and just open it here. So see this thing. This is working up. I don't know why it is not working for you. See, that's what it's saying. Please submit. Okay, so yep, that's what it is working up finally. Okay, guys, thank you for being there today in the what is the live class, and tomorrow we will be covering up many other stuff. And How to get confirmation of registration? How do I get confirmation of registration? Hey, you have a confirmation that over your mail itself, right? As soon as you get registered, you will be having a mail. Now, after like once you have a registration, then you submit all your assignments, attendance, and on time to time basis. That's where we will be like evaluating you and giving you the certification processes. Okay. So thank you all. It is. I think you all are enjoying it. So we want to take it. One small help I want to ask every one of you. One small help. I know many of you guys may be there on like Instagram, right? Many of you guys will like. Let us take only Instagram as a small objective today. I want 10,000 followers in Instagram. Now, how can we do it? Just think about it, because you all are community people, and this is a community. Currently, we are standing on like 1800 number in 1800 followers in Instagram. We do awesome job in what we say Instagram. You just go and check. We have full team there who is working. We need more and more followers coming in there. So please let us know how can we go about it, and how can we actually like increase the followers. Just share lot many posts from Instagram to your friends, and in your stories, in your post and all, so that other people can join in and follow us, because we are doing a great amazing job. I think that's why you all are here. So if at all we are doing that, now I just want is like just you all guys go and please make us viral. That's my only request, nothing else apart from that. I want to be viral with Let's Upgrade. That's it. So please help me in being that. And yep. Yep, that's all. 10K is what like our target before we complete the whole program. So yes, please do help it. Don't use any kind of what we say. Like what we say, please don't just simply don't use any kind of what we say fake followers boosting and all. We just only want genuine followers coming in and following us. So please let us know how can we go ahead. Certificate will be given in soft copy, at the same time hard copy, so don't worry about it. So please just go and get me as many as followers, because the whole team is working day and night. And yes, we will be doing awesome job just like the same thing we are doing right now. So thank you guys. I will take the leave today. Tomorrow again we will meet 11 a.m. in the morning. Subscribe to YouTube channel to get all the classes notification, because we don't want to send you particular email singly one on one. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Thank you for today's whole session. That's it. Bye. Take care. Have a nice day. Right. So have a